This is a series on transformation tools. Today we are going to talk about waste tracker. So what is a waste? So waste is commonly defined as any action or step in a process that does not add value to the customer. So basically the waste will lengthen the process time and increases the cost of operations. In a transparent world, customers would be unwilling to pay for this waste. What are the 8 types of waste? D. Defect. A defect is a deviation from specification. The defect can result into quality failures, rejections, or reworks, leading to increase in the time and cost. An example is when an e-commerce delivery happens, it does not contain the right item. Overproduction. Overproduction is when an item or product is produced more in anticipation of demand or to take care of rejections or quality issues, or the process is using too large a margin of error. For example, excess storage or warehousing space in anticipation of the major festival sale. Waiting. Waiting is when a queue is created before a value added operation in the process can be performed. For example, in a manufacturing setup, parts wait before the machine before they get processed. Non-engaged teams or resources. Waste is created when the full potential of the resources are not getting utilized. These resources can have skills, bandwidth, or capacity that can mitigate waste in the process. For example, an experienced operator not being used in training the fresh operators. Transportation. Waste is created when the people or the product requires transportation to complete processing. For example, a mechanical part is heat treated at a vendor which is distant from the manufacturing facility. Inventory. Inventory is when excess of product, item, or output gets produced which does not have an immediate customer requirement. For example, overproduction of finished goods due to incorrect forecast will lead to inventory. Motion. Excessive or unnecessary movement of people due to process, equipment, or layout. For example, a lock requiring multiple steps to assemble. Excess processing. So adding more features than required or demanded by the customers. For example, design pattern on the part which will not be visible to the customer. So in summary, we have 8 types of waste in the process. Defect, overproduction, waiting, non-engaged teams or resources, transport, inventory, motion, and excess processing. In summary, we call this downtime. So let's create process waste tracker, which is the intent of the transformation tools series. Let's open a blank spreadsheet and let's start entering some basic information such as name of the process, start point, end point, team leader, team members, now let's create few columns. So we'll start with serial number, process steps, define the process, defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilize resources, transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing. Once we have created the columns, 8 columns for the process or the waste in the process, let's slightly expand it. I can give a little bit more space to the process steps. Next things we'll do is we can add some units, typical units that we will measure these wastes. So let's say defects can be measured in terms of ppm, overproduction can be in terms of units, value, waiting can be in terms of time, non-utilized resources can be a qualitative parameter, you can answer as yes or no, transportation can be in distance, kilometers, meters, depending on what you are measuring. Inventory can be again in units, value. Motion can be again high, low. Extra processing can be again in terms of value, units, and so on and so forth. Let's give this some nice color. Use blue and a white and some bold. Let's now try to fill this template with some process. Let's see, we make tea at home, so let's pick up a process. Can pick up from here, and for the ease of filling up this template, let me copy this process steps. And let's try to fill this template with the first 2 steps of the process. So let's say this is first step is to find ingredients, right? So the items within find ingredient process would be sugar, water, tea, and milk. Let's right line them and give them some serial number 4. So you know these are the subsets of the find ingredient process. Let's say my second item is boil water, and I need a pot and water, and my third is add ingredients. Measuring spoons, let's keep it simple then, let's say measuring spoon, and then 4 is pour tea, and pour tea will require you to have steps and sieve, and then finally the fifth step is to serve the customer. Okay, so with that, let's say that we observe this process, right? We can say observation time, and let's try to fill some details here now. So name of the process is tea making. Start is find ingredients. Endpoint is serve tea. Team leader is XYZ, and team members are ABC, XYZ, etc. And observation time was let's say 4 p.m. With the find ingredients, everything was easily found. What was not easily found was sugar. So what happened? We waited for 5 minutes to find sugar. So let's say this is 5 minutes. So once we found the ingredients, put the pot on the gas, and then put some water, and we waited for the water to be boiled. I think we waited for more time than it was required. The problem was we did not know when the water really boiled and was ripe for us to add ingredients to it. So let's say that I over processed the boiling of the tea by 3 minutes, right? So measuring spoon, no problem. It was just that I added, instead of 4 teaspoons of sugar, I added 5. So in a sense I overproduced. So I will say 1 or say 10 grams of extra sugar was added. Okay, again wasted. Poverty, no issues. Serve customers. So I had to travel, say 10 meters, and if there was some mechanism for me to not travel this 10 meters and deliver the tea to the customer, it would have been good. So all this adds to the waste. So let's say we can total some of these wasted times and quantities. So let's call them as subtotal of time. So I will say auto sum of waiting time and auto sum of say processing time, and my total, let's call it here, total time wasted was, let's say, some of these times. Okay, subtotal of time. Now subtotal of quantity, let's say this was 10, and subtotal of distance, and let's say this was again 10. So in total I traveled 10 meters. I had wasted 8 minutes. I wasted 10 grams of sugar, and I traveled 10 meters, which was a waste. So in total we can say that this was the total quantity of time, effort, units, etc. that got wasted. Now in terms of what do we do next, what do we prioritize in terms of reducing the wastage? So let's do a simple matrix. We can say what is the effort required to address this particular waste, and what will be the cost. So effort and cost. So let's say to eliminate the waiting time that it took for us to find the sugar container, it's low effort and the cost is also low, right? In terms of boiling water, the effort is low, the cost is high. In terms of measuring spoon, the effort is low, cost is low. Serving the customer, effort is low and say cost is also low. Let's say we can give some numbers to this effort and cost. So let's say we give weight, so effort, weight, and cost, weight. So a low effort means a higher impact. So anything which is low on effort, we will give it a high score. Anything which is low on cost, again we give it high. This is high on cost. Let's say give it 1. And for the sake of this exercise, let's say these are all medium. So we'll give it 2. So your score, priority score will be a product of these two weights. So this into this will give you the waste, priority, score. Now based on this, what we can say is that it will make a lot of sense to help improve or to eliminate the waste in finding sugar. So we can say priority list of projects that we can do. So reduce, or I can say reduce time to find sugar, right? The other thing we can do is reduce time, wait time, reduce, say, wait time for boiling water. Okay, and here what we can do is in the error we can just say, okay, this could be the waiting time, right? And we can so on and so forth add a more number of projects. So in a sense, the spreadsheet or the template becomes your starting point of identifying simple process opportunities to reduce wastes in your projects or processes. You can do simple many things in terms of further formatting them, adding some sort of borders, reducing the column widths if required, and maybe reducing or zooming it down so that you can have a clear view of your end-to-end process. So thank you and keep watching Transformation Tools series.